Okay. The meeting of the South San Francisco Traffic Safety Commission for Tuesday, August 9, 2022 at 5 o'clock 35 minutes. Please come to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Sure thing. Chair Barca,
Here.
Vice Chair Malfatti,
Here.
Commissioner Monzon,
Here.
Commissioner Ewan,
Here.
and Commissioner Carbone.
Here.
All right, all are accounted for, Chair.
Okay. Are there any changes to the agenda review?
No changes from staff. Sure. Although I wanted to note for the consent calendar, normally you would have an additional attachment of the development or development list that kind of tracks all of the projects that have come through for applications and things. We haven't published one, so that's why it wasn't included in your meeting minutes this month.
Okay. Okay. Are there any public comments?
As of 5 p.m. today, staff has not received any phone calls or emails or voicemails regarding any of the items on tonight's agenda. Yep.
Okay, let's go to the approval of the regular meeting minutes for June 14, 2022.
Okay.
May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I'll take roll on that one real quick. To approve the meeting minutes, Chair Barca,
Yes.
Vice Chair Malfatti,
Yes.
Commissioner Monzon,
Yes.
Commissioner Ewan, yes,
Yes.
and Commissioner Carbone.
Yes.
Okay, meetings are approved.
Okay, am I reading the attachments too, or?
Oh, no, you don't need to. Yeah,
or-
that was the item.
Okay. It's mean that administrative business, TAC 2206, TAC 2207 meetings.
Yes. Sorry, let me stop sharing and pull that up. Let's go through the TAC agenda as you've seen in your packets. Whoa, it's happening again. Zoom is not cooperating. So give me a minute here.
Technology's on strike this year.
For the most part, yes. All right, let's try this again. Okay. So, commissioners, let me know if there was a specific item on TAC 2206 that you want to look at specifically. Let's go through them. 2206-1, there's a request for a, sorry, let me make this larger so everyone can see. I can see Jolene peering into the screen.
I made mine larger.
There we go. 2206-1, there was a request for a stop sign at the intersection of Elm and Miller Avenue to address speeding down the hill. 2206-2, request for no parking signs between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Tamarack Lane to address the narrowness of the roadway. 2206-3, a request for a handicap parking or at 401 and 403 Chestnut. Oops. 2206-4, request for a four-way stop at Del Monte and Del Paso Drive. Let's see. 2206-5, request for an additional radar speed sign along sister cities and request for no trucks over 14 feet, I believe that is, and signage along Randolph Avenue. 2206-6, request to reduce no parking restrictions along 7th Lane. And 2206-7, request for speed bumps and crosswalk through Middle Island on C Street. There were other items that were discussed at TAC, mostly like work orders and some additional items to discuss, but they were not resolved on that meeting.
I have a question on 2206-A.
2206-A, request to remove a 3-hour parking sign at 1200 Mission Road for better visibility. Yes, sir.
Just a question or comment. I happen to live in that neighborhood. And the response I see says the TAC does not recommend the moving of the 3-hour sign as the signage enables the PD to enforce restrictions along Mission Road. But it doesn't really address the issue that the request had regarding visibility. So that was my comment, is there are several signs along Mission regarding the 3-hour limit. So is there more to it than that, Chris, in terms of your response? Because the question had to do with better visibility. So I was just wondering if there was more to it than that. The response focused on enforcement of the restrictions versus the request to address better visibility. And I know there are numerous signs out there, so I was just wondering about the visibility part of it.
I actually do not have any further information on that. Traffic Safety Commission wanted to reintroduce Jeff Chow. He is our amazing engineering and public works representative with us here tonight. I don't know if Jeff, you recall.
Yeah, if I recall, there is an additional sign kind of a couple hundred feet away on westbound on Mission Road. So that's why it has to be spaced accordingly for PD to enforce it properly. That's why there's a sign kind of at the end. And there's another sign kind of 100 feet away. And that sign is facing towards the westbound direction. That's where cars will approach the sign, right? So we believe the sign is placed appropriately through this TAC request.
Well, I guess my question had to do with the response regarding the visibility to the responder, or to the requester rather. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the sign from what we saw was fine for visibility reasons. Reasons, I guess. Yeah, there's a sign posted at the corner, it's facing the appropriate direction, and there's a sign a couple hundred feet away. So cars in between should have, should be able to find the signs appropriately.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sure. Other items that folks want to discuss?
Yes, I would like to talk about -2.
2206-2, request for no parking between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Tamarack Lane to address the narrowness of the roadway. Yes, sir.
Yeah, would that be only during the construction time that is happening, or that's permanent? The request.
Permanent.
I could chime in on this one. I believe the scaffolding right now is kind of placed kind of towards the street. They're once they get to a point at the construction, they're going to push back the scaffolding, so there'll be more room in the street. And the PD has also been made aware of this issue, so they're going to start enforcing and citing illegally parking in that area.
So yeah,
so my question, I
sorry.
guess my question is, would that request is during the construction time, and after the construction is over, it goes back to normal? The reason I'm asking is because, as you are aware, we have a lot of construction. I do live in the neighborhood,
Okay.
and parking is getting, by the minute, is getting worse and worse, and so traffic. And by limiting this, we'll just push it to the neighboring. We don't solve the problem, we just push it to the next block. So I hope this is not permanent.
Okay, gotcha. I believe it's only temporary for the during construction, but I could reconfirm. Not too familiar with the existing
Mhm.
condition right now.
Thank you, Mr. Chow.
Okay.
So if I
Other
can go
items?
to the next one, -6, please.
2206-6, request to reduce no parking restrictions along 7th lane.
I noticed that that particular street has a lot of C-click fix comments. And I think what I noticed, I don't know if it's the same person, but the way that they're having problems is, for example, a house put their garbage containers in front of the house so they can save the parking space. So it's creating an issue for the other neighbors. So maybe this person wants to have the restriction parking so they cannot do that. But as a TAC, as a parking and traffic and safety commission, can we look into that, because it's just creating a lot of problems, especially on the lanes. Pretty much there is no rules, and some people just abuse it, and it creates problems to another neighbors. On particular in the 7-Eleven, I see probably 3 or 4 times a week on C-click fix. There is always an issue creating traffic, visibility, all kind of comments. I'm not following up every comment, but it looks to me that this person have that, just trying to be more traffic and safety improvement.
Okay. Sorry, Commissioner Monzon, what is the suggestion? Like,
the suggestion is to identify if whether this person is asking for no parking restrictions, right? So maybe this person wants to have their containers outside. So we need to find out what is the real intention of this particular request, and be mindful of the other party. At the end of the day, I think we need to spare the little remaining spaces that we have in the area.
right. I think this is a common problem we see on the lanes. Like as the response or the action is listed on here, like it's fire department that that there shouldn't, because of fire access, there actually shouldn't be a lot of parking spaces on the lanes, given the non-standard width of the roadway, right? So I mean, yeah, if this continues to be an issue, we'll hear from this person again. But right now, this is the response by TAC to this resident about this complaint specifically. But yeah, we'll take it under advisement and then look into it too. Okay, other items? Should we move on to 2207, since if that's it for 2206? All right, going once,
Yes.
going twice. All right, there we go, 2207. Let's see. All right, let's go through them. This was a little bit of a shorter meeting, right, Jeff? 2207-1, there was a request for a multi-way stop at Oakmont Drive in Shannon due to increase in homes and residents and a previous incident on this intersection. 2207-2, request for a multi-way stop at Holloway and Carter Drive due to speeding of downhill traffic along Carter and proximity to the park. 2207-3 was a request to add red curbs in front of the 405 Victory Avenue on South Maple due to access for large trucks. Thought this was done already, Jeff, but okay. 2207-4, request for an increase in no parking enforcement and install parking spot obstruction at 319 Baden due to illegal parking. This was, commissioners, this was the one that was emailed through us, and we sent it on to Jeff and our TAC team to look at the illegal parking and enforcement kind of issues that was happening here. Then other items were some work orders that had gone out to complete some work that was approved in other TAC meetings. 2206-3, request for a handicap parking again at that 401 to 403 Chestnut. And 2206-7, request for speed bumps and crosswalks through the Middle Island on C Street. I think that was it for 2207. So specific items you want to take a look at closer.
2207-B.
-B.
Is that where we're at?
2207, no.
Yeah.
There's no B, Dave.
Last page? Am I wrong?
You mean one of the work orders?
Yes.
Okay, so 2202, which was a few
I'm sorry.
TAC meetings ago. Hickey Boulevard and Junipero Serra.
I'm looking at the last page of the summary, I guess it is. For the meeting on the 27th, July 27th.
Yes.
Other items discussed.
Yeah. Which one?
2207-B would be the last one.
I think it's 22. We have 2206-7. The request for speed bumps and crosswalk.
I
through
think if
Middle
you go one more page over, it's on page 4.
I'm on page 4.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, is that? Yeah,
Because,
the,
are we looking at the they made Davis look at the minutes? No.
Yeah,
we had a
the
couple
minutes.
discussion items.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah.
All right, let
Wait.
me pull that up. We're not even looking at the same thing. Jeez.
I'm not,
Thank you,
I'm not sure I'm looking at the correct thing then.
Now we're in business. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. Other items discussed. There we go.
That's the one I was looking at. I just want to make a comment or a request. I found the last bullet there. Engineering will research other other agencies, rather, educational outreach to learn how other agencies publish important data and information regarding traffic safety and so on. I just like to, if we could get that information, what's available, just pass a copy on to us so we have that same information.
Oh yeah, no.
I'd like to
sure.
know what other agencies are doing as well. So,
Yeah. So-
that's a request.
Okay, no. Valid request, and remember, it's like a circular motion here. Like TAC will review, it'll be on a TAC agenda. We'll bring it to you anyway, so you will have that information for sure. You know.
Great, thanks so
but-
much.
Yeah.
Chris, you're not just going to send us a copy of the MUTCD, are you?
You know what? I take my cues from Jeff, but I know we're not going to do that.
That's not a bad suggestion.
It makes
Justin.
That
It-
was
it-
exactly,
for-
Jeff. Like so, Justin, like that was one of the suggestions. Is that MUTCD?
Yeah,
If it says here, then. But you know, we're going to look into
Yeah,
how other agencies are doing it, because we have to get away from this privatization for like a single household for an ADA spot. You know, that's. I think maybe months back, I think before even Dave joined, we were like shocked to learn that on like one street somewhere kind of like close to Hillside, the city has in the past approved like 6 different ADA spaces in one block. And how do we get them back? We don't know. So yeah, no, that information for sure will come back to the commission. Other items on this one that you want to pull up?
Can we go to -4, please? Chris?
-4, request for increase in no parking enforcement and install parking spot. Oh, the Al Mosqueda item. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, thanks for sending me the email. I noticed there was a bunch of trucks, Class A trucks parking there. It seems like on peak hour on both, especially on Baden and Linden, the big trucks park without the trailers. And I think he sent one picture. And what can we do about that as far as stack? How is going to be addressed that?
Jeff, correct me if I'm misspeaking, but I know that our police department is aware of this. Mr. Mosqueda has been. This is like one of the first times he's actually reached out to like the Traffic Safety Commission, actually filed a TAC request, but our police department has heard from him very many times about this same issue. Sometimes it comes down to our police can't be in the, everywhere at once. And it's a matter of enforcement. So they are aware of like the trucks without the trailers parking and exceeding spaces and blocking his driveway. So they're increasing enforcement in this area, especially at those like really peak times, because I think that's really is what's happening, is that only happens during like the lunch rush. And the rest of the day it's probably fine. So I think that's really it's an enforcement thing. That's what I mentioned before. So PD's aware of it. They're armed doing the enforcement, making sure that driveways are clear. But this is not the first they've heard from this person.
Do we have enough, I didn't pay attention, do we have enough signs, a signage that shows the, over X amount of tons not parked there or something? Or we can take a look on how many we have on that block.
Right.
It looks like that 300 block is pretty busy.
I think maybe an issue is that like I don't believe trucks are banned from this street. So unless we're entertaining a restrictions on trucks, like a truck without the trailer means it's not like the same heavy truck, right? So yeah, but no, we'll take a look at what signage we have in this area, and we can report back on that one.
Yeah, same thing on Linden, because as you are aware, a lot of companies are using last mile delivery trucks. I would like to review what are the guidelines on the delivery trucks, because on Linden, very early, they're already blocking the certain corners. For example, the liquor store in Grand and Linden, they have a big trucks delivering, and there's no way to go around. So you have to encounter another car coming from the other direction. So at that time of the day, there's no rules. So how can we prevent an accident? The community is the voice, right? So if I'm mentioning it, it's because I've seen it. If somebody mentioned it, it's because they've seen it, and we have to build the case from those comments. But I would like to see an action to see how we can advise the companies, or they have to use smaller trucks. Where the city is investing a lot of money on repaving a lot of the main roads in our city. And we don't want to be in 7 years of doing it again, because the trucks are heavier than we're supposed to be. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah. so I think I mean, if this is a TAC request, then we need to first for TAC to look at more specifically, then, you know, like please fill one out, just because it's also, it comes with the time these deliveries are being made. So if you're noting that they're happening like 6 a.m., something like that, sometimes it's meant to be that way so that they don't get in the way of like the peak AM rush, you know, everybody trying to get to work. And, you know, like, I know it's something that we've conditioned construction projects, you know, to try to make sure your deliveries are outside of those like 7 to 9 a.m. or the 4 to 6 p.m. just because we don't want them in the way, because that it happens from time to time. So
Yeah, but it's around 7 o'clock. From 7:15 I am leaving. I have problem with the trucks too.
okay.
Like, last time I was standing like more than 5 minutes because I couldn't pass the truck. It was too dangerous. All the car was passing.
Okay.
It's really dangerous, the street.
And I think that the reason that we all hear every month is traffic and safety. So, you know, we that's our focus, right? Traffic and safety. We don't want to be coming around a truck and creating a problem. I love to think proactive if possible, before it happens something. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
the car you will see maybe hardly, but you will see. But what you will not be see is the pedestrians. Like other people, it's really, really hard to see behind the cars.
Chris, are these truck issues, are they considered like because of building and a temporary problem, or is it just an ongoing presence of trucks that they're talking about?
I think like as Commissioner Monzon noted, like sometimes it's related to like deliveries at like a grocery, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
groceries, bakeries, you know, the bottom line is the companies, they're trying to save time, so they send one driver with a huge long truck, class 8. So, you know, I mean, everybody's trying to save, but we're talking about safety, we're talking about maintenance of our main streets, so it gotta be a compromise at one point. We understand that the company is trying to save only with one driver, one truck, but the city also have to repave the pavements, and we got to pay our taxes on that. So I like to see everything I see from different angles, not trying to target them, but maybe meet on the middle road, right? A last mile truck is considered a class 6 and 7, but not an 8. The 8 is for highway usage. So I seen a lot of class 8 here, and it's been happening for a long time. We all here with the diverse neighborhood, which is great. So since, you know, I just want to bring it up and share with you.
Okay. All right. Other items that on TAC 2207. No. Okay, going once, going twice. All right, so that's it for TAC 2207. Pull up the agenda again, sorry.
Items from the commission.
Yep. Commissioners have any additional items? Noted Commissioner Carboni about the research that staff is doing about how they push out like engineering decisions and things like that. That's an item we'll follow up on when we have that information. Any other items from the commission?
I have a second request to follow up to my one from last month.
Yes.
Last month, I asked staff to bring back an a convenient time information about the Grand Airport streetscape project.
Yes.
And so I have a sort of a follow-on to that, Chris, in terms of the next intersection down, the one there at Airport Boulevard Produce, San Mateo Avenue, South Airport.
Mm-hmm.
There's a proposed project that includes improvements to that intersection as well. Is that something we can add on to my previous request? What I'm getting at is looking at how the Grand Airport project relates to the next one down the street there at Produce and San Mateo Avenue and so forth. So how, not only each one, but how do they, what's the connection or the relationship between those two projects?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've heard that 40 Airport and 124 Airport 100 Produce projects were my projects. So yes, we can bring more information on those. Right now, the relationship between that intersection and the improvements proposed there versus all the improvements being constructed on Grand and Airport, right now, no correlation whatsoever. It's the 124 Airport, 100 Produce, the PS Office Park project, and the 40 Airport. Those street improvements at Airport and Produce are meant to basically calm the traffic and anticipate for a lot more residents coming from that area. So right now there is no correlation. There are some decisions and studies that need to be made about putting in a bike lane or some bike access between those two intersections, but that's still something that staff hasn't mobilized on. Again, like construction for these projects are not happening for at least another couple of years or so. Yeah, but no, I can bring the airport projects and give you a kind of a sense of what was approved and what was proposed and what's going to happen to that intersection. Our best friend right now, Jeff Chow, is the project manager for Grand and Airport. And my apologies, because I have not told him that he needs to come back and talk about the status of Grand Airport streetscape project. So now he's been warned. And but yeah, no. So we'll get an update from Jeff on that one in the next one.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. Okay. Other items from commissioners?
Yeah, Chris, the last time we met, I mentioned we can look into the timing on the lights on Airport Boulevard.
Mm-hmm. Is it still a persistent issue? Is it still going on?
Especially, yeah, especially, okay. There's not enough traffic, yeah.
All right, if that's the case, let's fill out a TAC request. I'll do some back channel, ask around what's going on with the signal timing on that one, but it'd be a lot easier for our staff to track if there was a TAC request associated with that.
Okay.
So we can get more information on what the issues are, the time of that time of inconvenience for you. So yeah, TAC request, let's send it to Jeff.
Thank you. And just a suggestion, is any who we can ask, but I just want to suggest, can we be invited to those TAC meetings if any of us have the time? I know those happen during the day. I think it could be useful that we at least be part of that, since we are the traffic and safety. I don't know. I just want to throw that idea there.
Okay, we'll look into it. As far as I know, it's staff only, and then this is the logical next step is to report back to the commission. But no, we'll look into it, and then yeah, it's tough to ask time from commissioners during the day. So that's why we have this time, like after work. So yeah, and I can't even imagine the Brown Act stuff that has to happen. So let me figure that out, or Jeff and I will ask around.
All right, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Other items?
Chris, I was wondering, does anyone in the city keep up with the Nextdoor postings on Nextdoor? One day I don't follow it. I mean, I haven't had time to really read too much, but one day I opened up the Nextdoor thing and there was a lot of disgruntled community members saying they're building, and this might be more for the parking commission, but they're overbuilding in South San Francisco with not enough parking spots and how it's making traffic congested. And I was just wondering if anyone from this city follows that, or if you want me to forward some of those postings I saw, or if you're not interested. I was just curious.
Not that we're not interested, but we hear enough complaints from those that are passionate enough to tell them their complaints.
I
Right?
would say also, like, we have official, like, we have official channels to, to gain feedback, like such as this meeting here and Planning Commission and BPAC and, all our other public meetings. So we really want to use those to make them be like a more official way to hear from the public versus Nextdoor, which is a little bit of an unofficial forum. So we try to separate that out. I mean, we definitely, our communications director may follow it just to kind of see what's going on in the city. But for like actual official city business, we really try to focus on like our official channels. I totally know what you mean. I mean, there's tons, people are like all over Nextdoor and have all kinds of, ideas and issues and complaints. And there's valid stuff, but we really need to focus on our official comment mechanisms.
We want to go through our official channels rather than,
And
Jolene might send
we've
something.
definitely opened up quite a bit. I mean, I think the pandemic has made us, like, our general plan has really been like, we've had tons of online forums and online forums and comment boards and like stuff like that. So we've definitely like done a pretty big transition to online discussions as well.
Yeah. Short answer, will follow the official forms of communication rather than neighbor asking, why was there gunshots at 3 a.m. last night? That's not official. Like who does that go to? Like
Someone parking in their spot.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
But C-Click Fix, that would be an official channel.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a city mechanism. So we know that is, so then the city knows, okay, we have to go look at that issue.
Mhm. Yeah, well, and look at your community resources memo. Those are all our official ways to, send a message to our city staff if there's an issue. So we'll use those.
I'm still a little bit confused with Engage SSF and CityClick. So I think we mentioned that we can play a little bit with that in the future meeting.
Yeah.
Would that be possible?
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I'm still, I didn't get in touch with our communications director, but so once I do, then we'll kind of do a little run through on that website.
Okay.
Okay.
And not to add more to your table, but all this meeting, the minutes and the meetings will be uploaded to the website, right?
They're there right now.
Okay. And how about the videos? Because I was checking the youth commission, even the youth commission, they have their videos.
Do they?
And we upload these videos too.
So I received a different set of instructions previously that we weren't supposed to share the videos as long as we're sharing the minutes. So Youth Commission has videos up, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of people interested on commissions, and the best way to learn is, videos. Videos is the way to go. So I don't know who makes the decision, but I would like to suggest that if we can ask.
All right, I'll add that to my list to check in with our communications director. That's who gives me the green light on these things.
Thank you.
Okay, can we adjourn the meetings?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the meeting is now adjourned at 6:14 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening.
All right, thank you
Thank
all.
you.
We'll see you at the next one.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Thank you.
Have a good-
Take care,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Night.
Thanks, Jeff.
Good night to everybody.
Good night, everybody.